We going in step back magic, people. As Fat Joe used to say, lean back, but then he said, I'm from the city of the thirst. You know, I said I'm from New York, New York. I got 100 hips, and I'm from New York, New York. He going in right now. We talking about the New York Knickerbockers. I'm calling it here first. If this squad stays the way it is, maybe adds one piece, maybe one little piece, they could be the champions of the East. Yes, I said it here first. Take a first look at the New York Knicks current roster. Again, I'm going over the teams that I think are not going to make moves first for the season preview because you know about Ben Simmons. He could totally change the whole atmosphere of a lot of teams because a lot of teams are going to have to be in it to make that trade. That said, let's jump in and look at the Knicks. We start off with the transactions. Who did they get? What happened? First off, it was nuts. Okay? It was nuts what this team has done. Okay? Unbelievable from a team perspective when you think about the New York Knicks and what they were able to bring to the table. Here goes the transaction list. Yeah, I stalled y'all on the overall transaction list. And here we go. Luke Mendoza waived, but Kemba Walker signed. Amen. Julius Randle re-signed, kicked back. Jericho Sims drafted. Okay. And those were probably the biggest moves for them, right? They resigned most of who they got. Jericho Sims was added from the draft. And then they added in Mr. Kemba Walker. Probably two of the biggest moves for them over the summertime. So incredible off seasons for them just with those two. Nothing else needs to be talked about. Now, let's jump into the current roster and how they look at current state. Again, things are still moving. Remember, it's preseason. Dwayne Bacon was added. I think that was a great addition. From the Magic, waived. He's a nice, solid, small forward. He did have star potential at one point. I did see him as a starter in the NBA. So him coming onto this team is going to play a more reserve role. Backing up Barrett, a little bit more scoring than Barrett, in my opinion. Not bad for Dwayne to get an opportunity there behind R.J. Barrett and be that backup. Alec Burke is still there. Thunder and fire from the scoring line. Anywhere on the court, if Alec gets hot at 30 years old, still in his prime, he can get dangerous. Evan Fournier leads the three-point team. Okay, 28 years old, tremendous years, was one of the team leaders on Orlando for years. Exciting to see him on this squad. Taj Gibson comes in with the muscle. 36 years old. He's just a big pack of muscle coming in to beat people up. Quentin Grimes, yes, rookie, added, drafted, 6'5", 205. Let's see what he can bring. Not sure if he stays on top of the roster, but I think he'll head down G League. Kevin Knox, still only 22 years old, guys. Can they get this guy to something more? Can they utilize him, make him the Robert Horry of the team? He has a three-point potential. He has everything you want in a player. Gifted athlete from Kentucky. I didn't forget you, man. I'm in these streets, man. It's okay. I didn't forget you. He has potential. Can he be something more? Can Mr. Tom Thibodeau advance this man's career and get him to another level? Let's give him a check. Miles McBride, and a big-time scorer, did his thing in the summer, and I think he's something special here. I like the Miles McBride pickup out of West Virginia. Nerlens Noel, but he's more defensive anchor. Nerlens Noel leads the anchor for the defensive team. That's what he's been known as for his whole career. 27 years old, still young. Forever young. Still young boy. 6'11", defense. Wish he add on 15 more pounds so he a little bit more muscular, a little bit more powerful. Emmanuel Quickly, 6'3", 181, is a scoring guard of the future. Okay, he's a bona fide sixth man. Lewis Williams role, he's already doing his thing. He's already going to be in the candidate for sixth man of the year. Just has that potential. Julius Randle leads the anchor, a comeback player, 26, still young, trying to make his way, now trying to make the next step to his career. Can he lead a team to an Eastern Conference championship? Guess what? A lot of load is lifted with the additions. Mitchell Robinson, will he finally come off an injury? 23 years old. Western Kentucky is what he's listed as coming out of. I believe he's just a high school player, in my opinion. Mitchell Robinson comes in, 7'2", 252. Want to see him back. Big leaper. Derrick Rose, best backup point guard in the league, some may say. I think they're probably right. 33 years old. Not really a starter anymore at that age, but can definitely fulfill that bench role and is solid. Wayne Selden Jr., 27, trying to make the squad. Great pedigree out of Kansas, did his thing in Europe, came back over, was an amazing athlete at one point in time. Doesn't necessarily need it in this NBA, but he comes in and can be a defensive maker, has a little bit of three, more of a slasher, like Wayne Selden pickup if he makes the team. Amir Sims, 6'8", 245. Rook. Let's see what you bring to the table. Think he's going to live in the G League, but you never know. Jericho, Sims, 6'9", 250. Tremendous offseason. Long arms. Don't look at the height. 7 foot, in my opinion. Backs up Noel. Backs up Mitch Robinson. And right now is backing up Noel. Obi Toppin, big draft pick out of Dayton. Leaper, now a shooter. Expect a big come up for him to be the third option on this team. Yes, you heard it here first. Obi Toppin is going to have to show some growth this year. I'm not talking about 20 points per game. He will not be able to get that with all the talent on his team. However, a 12-7 season wouldn't be bad. 12.7 rebounds. Obi, I'm looking to you this season. You're probably the X factor to get this team over the top. Luca Veldoza, waived, I believe, so I don't think we're going to see him. MJ Walker, we'll see if he survives from Florida State. And the big pickup, only at 31 years old, but has been injury haggled for the last couple of years, is Kemba Walker comes over. Will he be Kemba of Charlotte, or will he be Kemba of Boston on the tail end of his career where he's losing? He was losing a lot of stuff he had. So Kemba Walker is the big addition that we want to talk about. Let's take a swing at the depth charts and see what we have in the lineup, okay? Straight up and down, the guard situation looks pretty good. Kemba, Derek, great. A little bit older, but they got Emmanuel quickly there, and then Miles McBride, okay? Rokas, Jumbo Kabutis, maybe he plays, maybe not. Another three-point shooter from Europe. Evan Fournier didn't show up on the roster, but he's there. Evan Fournier, Alec Burke, strong additions from shooting guard. Give him a B, B+, maybe even a B- on this. Quentin Grimes is there as well, and Emmanuel quickly definitely comes in as a bench helper. Quick honorable mention to Wayne Selden. He may come in from defensive perspective, but they're not bad there. Small forward, RJ Barrett. His growth is really key. Right now, you're looking at, I would say, 4 all-stars starting here, guys. This guy was a potential all-star. This guy's supposed to be an all-star. This guy was an all-star. Kemba was an all-star. That's what we're looking at, guys. So for all the talk on Brooklyn, where Brooklyn at, these guys got talent, okay? Obi Toppin's another guy that can fit in this realm. Let's see if we can get in that progression. Backing them up is Taj and Kevin Knox. I really want to see Kevin Knox move up into one of these slots, either the small forward or power forward, and make some noise. He has potential, okay? Center is Mitch Robinson, Nerlens Noel, and then Taj Gibson. So they're pretty much solid on the front court, in my opinion. Not bad. You got your stretch shooters in Mr. Obi Toppin. I what he's become, and Kevin Knox. They could add maybe another piece there for that. Other than that, I think they're set. Small forward, a little bit more question marks. Who's backing up RJ? It's probably going to be Dwayne Bacon or Kevin Knox, in my opinion. I don't like Alec Burke at that small role, but hey, if you got 3 small guards, you're trying to run the hell out of the ball, make it tough on defenses to set up, maybe you go on a smaller route. But again, not looking bad, and they have some talent. One thing that I think they're missing as we look at the squad is definitely the three-point scoring. I don't see it. I don't see a surefire three-point shooter on this team, and that may hurt them, okay? Maybe that's why we see Rokas Jokovitis in the talking points, okay? So now we jump in and take a peek at the standings in the East side and figure out, okay, what can these boys really go? Like, really, what are we talking? What's really good with this roster and where these boys can freaking go from an offseason perspective? When we look at the divisions, they play in the Atlantic. That is the Knicks. Boston is a fighter there. Brooklyn is a fighter there, and Philadelphia. They're probably in the toughest division in the East. It's going to be tough for them to come out on top. However, I do expect them to come out and beat some of the other teams in the Central and Southeast divisions. So now we got to see how that flows through. If the New York Knicks additions help them to get into that role to be able to make the playoffs, because that is the first step. In my opinion, they are a 7th or 8th seed in the East because it's so deep. Their potential, yes, if everything is gelling, they're a 4th or 3rd team in the East. I have them even beating out Philadelphia easily if they can get all the pieces right now. I do think they need some more three-point shooting, as I mentioned. Maybe another stretch 5, maybe another guy there. But right now, from an athletic defensive perspective, the Knicks come in as one of the most deadly, scary teams on the East Coast. Let's get into some logic to what I see as trouble. Philadelphia has Embiid. You got Mitch, you got Jericho, and you got your boy, yes, sir. You got your boy Mitchell Robinson. Those three headers should be able to help out with Embiid. He will still go off. Simmons, almost, as they say, non-factor on the offensive end, but defensively he pays dividends. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, those are the two there. Add in Schrader, add in Mr. Al Horford. Good team, but a little bit too old on their front court, okay? That's why I give a slight advantage to the Knicks, even though they don't have a Tatum or Brown. Let's see what Mr. Barrett can do. Brooklyn, Durant, Irving, Harden. Okay, that supersedes a lot of teams. However, defensively, it will be rough on those guys coming out and trying to beat the boys from the New York Knicks because of their talent range and Tom Thibodeau's as a coach who focuses on defense. That's what makes this team very scary in the long haul. And that's why I think they'll barely slip in the playoffs, beating out some of the teams that are on the come up. Chicago has now entered the name of the game. And then you also got your sleeper Miami team that's going to come in. Atlanta, I believe, may succeed and come back. A lot of pieces coming in, but it's going to be a tough year. And that being said, you got to love what the Knicks bring to the table. You got to give kudos to their talent coach for getting Kemba, for getting Jericho Simmons. If they can add some more three-point shooting again, for me, that would make them in better contention to make the championship run. Other than that, I'm going to sign off here. Where New York at, baby? I know it says we're Brooklyn at, but where New York at? Because I'm from the city of the terrorists. Yeah. Yes, I'm from New York. New York. I'm from New York. New York. I'm gone.